Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Meet the Candidates. I'm your host, Jonathan Grabowski. Today we're starting with the school committee, and joining me on the show today is Janice Maloof-Tomaso. Janice, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Jonathan.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about your experience, involvement in town government, the school committee, but first off, who is Janice Maloof-Tomaso?
Okay, well, I'm a mother of two that are in the school system here in Marshfield. I'm a nurse. I'm currently the clinical nurse director for the emergency department at Tufts. I've been in Marshfield for 13 years, and I've always tried to be active in the community. And my first step was joining the drug task force, which since has been disbanded, and I am now in Marshfield FACS and the steering committee, and also the advisory board, just because I felt like I wanted to be more in the community, more involved, and see if I could help in any way.
So how long have you been involved on the advisory board?
I've been on the advisory board a little over a year. Okay. It's been a great learning experience. Definitely you learn about the inner workings of town government and budget needs and requests, but you definitely get to meet all the players, which has been extremely interesting.
It's funny, because a lot of times when people are on the advisory board and they seek a different position, sometimes they'll run for selectman usually. You're running for school committee. So why have you decided to run for school committee?
I think because, well, it's not even I think. I know that I'm running for school committee. One of the biggest drivers is coming from what I see at work in the emergency department. We have a level 1 pediatric ED, and we deal a lot with children with suicide, drug abuse, alcoholism, and also high anxiety. We have never seen such a spurt of anxiety growing in the pediatric population as we are now. So it made me take a look at what's going on in Marshfield. And being on FACS, I realized there is a very big drug problem in our community. I also have a son who has hearing loss, and we've worked very hard with the schools, who are great, but getting him the resources and the help he needs to progress and be successful. And it has opened my eyes, and I've met other mothers that have struggles, and it just made me I just feel like it's more my niche than the advisory board.
Okay. Little Civics 101 here. In your words, what's the role of the school committee?
From what I understand and what I've researched, but also talked to a few of the members, the school committee sets the goals for the schools, kind of the values, the policies, and they also oversee the measurement. But they also can be creative and innovative, and as collaborative. They meet with the SPED directors, they meet with principals, they meet with the police department. They meet with Marshfield FACS, and they try to address what's passionate to them with growing issues in the school to make sure that the students and the parents get everything that they need.
Okay. Every race has, let's just say, we'll call it a hot button issue. In your mind, what's the hot button issue of the school committee race?
For me, you mean like my platform?
Or the issue that stands out above all, like that everyone's talking about that's running?
What I hear about the most is vaping. That's, and that was something that coincided with my platform, with the drug abuse and, alcoholism, because vape has nicotine in it. I actually had a meeting today with Chief Tavares to discuss my platform and to see how we could collaborate and, what his team felt like they were struggling with. And they said that they've seen an unbelievable increase in the vaping in the middle school.
I was actually going to ask you later on about this, but let me ask you it now. As a nurse and someone involved with FACS, is vaping and other substances an issue in our schools? And what can we do to educate kids about the dangers of this stuff?
I think one of the biggest things that I want to do if I were to be elected, and even if I wasn't, I would be willing to help because I really do care. We have to do preventative education. We have to get to them younger. And we also have to educate the parents. I think they're being, there's no real focus on that, and we need to find a way to get to them. I have experience with grant writing, so that was my hope. I've gotten some significant grants for the emergency department, where we, rolled out some very good programs, and I was hoping to do that for the community so we could get some educational tools in here about the dangers of vaping and see if we could, just blend this into the schools and send it home so that everybody knows how dangerous it is.
When you mean preventive education, you're talking like getting it in their heads that this is bad at an early age?
Yes, early age. Okay. Because they'll try it if they don't know.
Okay. What experience from your skill set or experience from being on the advisory board, can you take to being on school committee?
I think you definitely learn how to collaborate. Okay, not everybody will agree with your ideas. Mm-hmm. Not everybody gets along.
That's life.
Right, mm-hmm. That's life. And although I'm not really a politician and I never will be, you have to learn to put some things aside and focus on the major goal. And the major goal here is the students and the teachers and, our community. Okay. So what I learned that skill, but I kind of had that anyway with nursing. Mm-hmm. But the other thing is I learned a lot about the budget, which was very interesting. I think that more proactive focus on what we spend our money on and how we spend it might be something we want to put back on the table in the future, because I definitely think that just from what I've seen, some of the money probably could do some good in other areas.
Okay. I want to talk about the school department right now. What's something you think, they're doing well?
I think they're actually doing a lot well. I from my son, mm-hmm. just specifically, he is progressing amazingly. He had to go out of precinct, like he's at Governor Winslow, okay. because we had to transition him to a different school. Mm-hmm. But they are thoughtful, they have excellent care plans, mm-hmm. the oversight, the follow-up, the communication. I don't know how they find the time to let us know every single day everything he's doing. That's great, and the things he needs help on. I don't have a lot of experience with the high school, but I do feel like the school committee itself, I was reading their minutes, and I see that they're trying to work on a transportation committee to make that better, because they're not utilizing all the buses as much, and they really are looking to strive for excellence. So, and they work, I think the new superintendent, Mr. Granatino, is amazing. Yeah. And I do know him just from working in the advisory mm-hmm. board, but I think he's definitely dedicated, motivated, and focused. So, and it comes from the top. Right. So you get someone like that, and then everybody follows. But I think it's great. I think the sports programs are great. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there something that from your experience you said, hey, maybe they could do more about this on a particular subject or matter? Is there something that you wish they did more on?
I have to be honest. Right now, nothing comes to mind.
All right. Something I was on your Facebook page earlier, and you mentioned on your Facebook page that with your experience and skill set, you can be a strong advocate and voice for families and children when it comes to offering our children in schools the best tools so they can be successful and safe. Can you go into further detail about that? Because I found that really interesting and intriguing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've already kind of taken some of the steps. If anybody emails me or calls me and says that they have a concern, mm-hmm. I will make the time to go wherever they need me to be, because one thing I really do see in this town, but this isn't something that the school can control per se, is people have a very hard time freeing up time. They don't, I need a babysitter because mm-hmm. I want to go to this, special meeting to learn about, anxiety, or if they want to go to something that the school's offering, they're challenged. Mm-hmm. So I've driven to people's homes, I've driven to people's places of work, and they've taken breaks, and I've talked to them about my experience, and they've told me what they feel is a problem. Some of the moms are really nervous about bullying. Yeah. They said they had one woman said, my daughter's 14, and she's already feeling peer pressure about her body image. Right. And what she's scared about is that, obviously, and that's what I believe, it affects their learning.
Right.
If they're worried about what their friends are thinking about them, they're not going to concentrate on their
Absolutely.
Education. So, I just gave her some advice that I could give her as a mom and as a nurse, and where to get some help, or who to talk to about it, or how to, maybe what she could ask her daughter. But that's what I mean. Like, I will listen to everybody. And there was recently a discussion on the forum about styrofoam trays and how styrofoam has carcinogens, and it is bad for the environment. And I do, believe we can do better. We can be more green, but I just, you can only, fight so many battles at once. But that person that brought that up, I told them I agree 100%. And there's no reason that we couldn't do some kind of pilot study, because a vendor would do it for nothing if we're going to give them business to have some kind of like biodegradable paper tray. So.
Another thing I saw on your Facebook page, and it's fantastic, by the way, you also talk about understanding the support families and children who have learning disabilities need. Can you go further into that and talk about what can be done to support them further?
Yeah, so that's exactly one of the issues, was babysitting.
Okay.
I don't know how to do it. I have a couple of creative ideas in my head. So this is one of the ideas I have. A bunch of moms in town. There are a lot of kids with hearing loss here. Actually, we didn't move to Marshfield for this, but when Max was first diagnosed at 6 months old with sensorineural hearing loss, the audiologist said Marshfield has an excellent reputation for this. So we were thrilled.
That's fantastic.
So a few of the moms that I know that have children with hearing loss say that they want to go to more of the meetings that they have with, maybe not the SPED directors, but, for the IEPs and things like that, but they can't get away. I would love to create like a social support network of babysitting. Like, I'll go this month, you take care of this kid.
Like a support group.
Yeah, a support group. But we should just give everybody a chance to get to these meetings, because the schools do have the information. It's just that people can't get to it. And it's hard sometimes for people just to read it online. I think it really is better when you're there in person, so you can ask questions and interact with other people. So that's something I would like to do. And, again, that doesn't cost anything. That's just community supporting each other.
Okay. If you're elected, what's one thing that you want to work on? What's the one big thing?
The one big thing is drugs and, alcoholism. That's number one.
Okay.
Yeah, that is number one, because I think it's a big deal.
All right. If people want to find out more about you, where can they go?
Well, I have a Facebook, and on that there's also a website.
Okay.
I have a website. I also have a special email.
Okay.
I think it's Janice for School Committee 42719.
What's the Facebook page? Because it's fantastic. I was on it earlier to get
Oh, thank you so much. It's at Janice Maloof-Tomaso for School Committee.
All right. Okay. We like to end the show here with some fun facts, or some fun stuff, because a lot of times we get into very heavy subjects like we were today. And it's nice to lighten the mood as we end the show.
Yeah, sure.
So, what's one thing about you that people might find interesting? What's a fun fact?
A fun fact is, if I hit the lottery,
Okay.
I would buy a food truck, and I would like to sit at Green Harbor and sell healthy food to people all summer.
Okay. All right. If we were to take your phone, whatever device you use to play music, what music would we find on it?
Oh, everything. I love music, but I am a product of the 80s.
Okay.
So you will find Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith, some classic rock, and then some really bad disco.
All right. And last but certainly not least, why are you the best candidate for the position?
It's hard for me to say I'm the best, because it's just not in my personality.
Sell yourself.
All right. I am passionate. It's built in me, and when I want to fight for something, or if I am fighting for something, I don't give up. I've been an advocate for a lot of things my whole life, so I feel like I would be the best, because I know I will bring the community's concerns to the appropriate table and get them the answers they need. I might not be able to fix everything, but they will be heard.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
And wish you the best of luck during this election season.
Thank you very much.
And that's all the time we have for Meet the Candidates. Until next time, make it a great day.